Hey guys, hey, welcome to Mondays with Mark. I'm Mark, and this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Of course it is, right? Welcome back. And welcome to part 2 of getting ready for Thanksgiving. Yep, kind of a continuation from last week's Mondays with Mark, where we were getting ready for Thanksgiving. What did we do? Oh, we made a recipe. We had a project. It was pretty cool. We had a good time. Started our tablescape. And today the fun continues. Oh yes, and we have a lot to get to tonight. We're going to have 3 recipes to do. Well, 2 recipes and 1 recipe / project kind of a thing there, But because Thanksgiving is next week, and we are going to be like cooking fools tonight. Actually, we're going to be cooking fools all week long, and I'll tell you a little bit about that a little bit later. But I don't want to rush things along, but we do have a lot to get to tonight. Oh, we do. But before we do, oh gosh, guys, did you happen to see that full moon over the weekend? I mean, how stunning and beautiful and mysterious. Oh, it was just so beautiful that it's the what month is this? No, it's the Beaver Moon, and it's the last of 4 consecutive supermoons of the year. Oh man, it was just so beautiful. I hope you got a chance to see it. If not, maybe you enjoy the pictures for a second here, But anyway, okay, back to the agenda at hand. Yes, we do have a lot to get to, so I think we're gonna get started off right away with our first recipe tonight. So last week on Mondays with Mark, we have a pretty big Thanksgiving menu there, And last week we made our mashed potatoes. Oh yeah. And now this week, okay, we're going to continue that, and we're going to use some of those mashed potatoes to make some homemade dinner rolls. Oh, they're so good. So come on, let's go make them. So we got everything started here in the bowl of my stand mixer here. We have 1 cup of prepared mashed potatoes, which we warmed up in the microwave, just about 30 seconds, so they're warm to the touch. And then we also have 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons of hot whole milk, and that would be microwaved just before the point where it starts to simmer, okay? And then there's 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast, 1/4 cup of warm water, and then 2 tablespoons of sugar. And we're just going to let that mix up there till it's incorporated, and it is. And we're going to shut her off and cover her up, with a dish towel like this. And we're just going to kind of, let her chill there until that yeast activates. So while that's happening, let's check out the rest of our ingredients. Okay, back here we have 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Down here we have 1/2 cup of sugar. Back there we have 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt, 2 large eggs at room temperature. We also have an additional egg, to which we added 2 to 3 teaspoons of water to, and 1/2 cup of butter unsalted. That is melted. Okay, so we're ready here, and when your yeast has been activated, because you can see it starts to foam a little bit, or little bubbles start to rise to the top. So our yeast is activated. So to this, we're going to add our butter, our eggs, our sugar, and our salt. And then we're just going to give that a mix until it's incorporated. Okay, we are good there. So now we are going to add our flour, and we're going to add that, about 1/2 cup to 1 cup at a time, mixing well after each addition until we use all the flour, or it no longer sticks to the sides of the bowl. Now, it'll still stick to the bottom, but it won't stick to the sides, okay? Just keep adding that in there a little at a time. Yes, we are good to go. Let's see. We'll come right off. Tacky. Yep, we are good to go. Okay, so now I have a very large bowl here, and I sprayed that with some non-stick cooking spray, and we're gonna take our dough and we're gonna dump it into that bowl and cover it up with a dish towel. Okay, so now we're just gonna give that a little spray with some non-stick cooking spray there. Yeah, and then we cover it with our towel there, and then we're just gonna let her sit until she doubles in size, and that'll take about 1 hour. And you want to put your dough in like a draft-free area, maybe a tad bit warm. Just make sure it's not somewhere cold. Okay? Okay. Okie dokie. Let's see what we got. Ah, yay! She rose, she rose, she rose. All right, so now we're going to turn her out onto a board that I have just lightly dusted with some flour here. Punch her down one down. So now we're just going to, use our, kind of get a little flour on our hands there, kind of pat it down a little. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut our dough here into 21 equal pieces, as best as you can. And that would be about 3 tablespoons of dough. And for those of you who weigh like I do, I'm just so used to it. That's about 2 ounces of dough, okay? And then we are just going to kind of take that under. Right, and we're going to make a ball out of it. And then I have a 9x13 pan here, which I sprayed with non-stick cooking spray. And we're going to place her in there. And you should be able to get 3 across and 4 down for a total of 12 in this one. And then, oh yes, we have our 8x8 pan. And we'll do 3x3 here for a total of 9. All right, we got a little bit of work to do. Let's get to it. There we go. Oh, check it out. This is all we have left over. We did good, guys. We did good. Our pans are ready to go. So now, yep, we gotta let her rise again. So one more time, we're gonna give it a quick spray and cover with a dish towel. There we go there. And there we go there. And then, just like before, we wait until she doubles in size, and it'll take a little less time this time, and about 40 minutes, up to an hour, depending on where you place them, okay? Okay. We's looking good. Yes, we are. Very gently, very gently. Okay. There they are, all ready to go. Oh, yes. Okay, so now you remember that last little lonely egg there, right? And we added about 2 teaspoons of water to it. Now we're just going to kind of, whip that up and make an egg wash out of it. And then we're going to brush the top of our rolls. And we're going to do that, pretty gently there because we don't want them to, we don't want to deflate any of them. And so for that, I definitely use a silicone brush. These tend to be a little bit more forgiving than the actual pastry brushes. Just trying not to bump them too much. So funny. I remember my grandma used to bake bread a lot. And every time she would have the bread in the oven, like proofing or whatever, we couldn't even talk in the kitchen. We had to be very quiet. We had to tiptoe. It was so funny. And then many years later, she switched to frozen bread dough. I think it's Rich's actually. That has that frozen bread dough, which is actually really good. But she very, very, very rarely bought a loaf of bread. So, okay, so we are all brushed with our egg wash. And lastly, we're just going to give a little sprinkle of some coarse sea salt or kosher salt right on top. Okay, yeah, and now we bake at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes or until the tops are nice and golden brown. This whole apartment smells heavenly. Oh my gosh, smells like a bakery. There we go. Our rolls are out. Oh, they're nice and brown on top. I love it. Now, if you don't like it this brown, definitely take it out maybe a minute or two earlier. Just however dark you like it on top, you know. This is good for me though. I like it. Let's check the sides. Oh yeah, we're good. Oh, nice. All right. Oh, I can't wait. When I say this whole apartment smells like a bakery, oh, it really does. I don't think I've made fresh bread here before. Did in the other apartments. But anyway, I'm rambling on. There you have it. Oh, yes, our mashed potato dinner rolls for Thanksgiving. um, oh gosh, these are good. I love fresh baked bread or rolls or anything, and these are really good. They're really, really good. A lot of people are intimidated by making um, a homemade bread, and it's really not that hard. Sure, there are some steps to it, and you do have to pay attention to temperature, when you're using yeast. But I mean, as long as you approach it as, we're gonna have fun doing this, it's all good. I've always said, cooking for me anyway, and baking is so much fun, and it's creative. And if you approach it that way, I just think you're going to enjoy it. But so 2 recipes down. Why don't we move on to our third recipe? This one is kind of like a recipe and a project, kind of all in one. So we're going to head over to the workshop to do this one. How about some Rice Krispie treats? Pumpkin pies! Oh yes, yes. We're gonna make a crispy rice treat pumpkin pie. Rice Krispie treats, baby. Okay, so now I know I don't have to just show you how to make Rice Krispie treats. I'm sure everybody's made them. However, this recipe is a little different as far as the amount of ingredients. So why don't we start with the ingredients, and then I'll show you how I did it. All right. So what you will need is 5.5 cups of crisp rice cereal, Rice Krispies, and you'll need 2 bags of mini marshmallows, and these bags are 10 ounces each, and we're only going to be using 1.5 bags, so 15 ounces of marshmallows, whether you use the large ones or the mini ones. And then in addition to that, a total of 4 tablespoons of butter, and you'll need some orange food coloring. And if you can't find it or don't have it, red and yellow will work good too, okay? And then finally, some type of white frosting, either homemade or the ready-to-use stuff in a can you get at the store, okay? So, as simple as this, and I already have it started. Marshmallow. Okay, so in my pan here over medium heat, I melted 2 tablespoons of butter, and then when that was melted, I added 3/4 of a bag of our marshmallows and just stirred it until it's all melted like this. Oh yes! And then to that, we're gonna add 2 3/4 cup of our crispy rice cereal there. Okay, and look, you don't have to be perfect with this. A little more, a little less, you will be just fine, okay? And then we're just going to stir gently until all of our cereal is covered. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Okay, and now we're going to pour right into an 8 or a 9-inch pie pan. And then we're going to press it down, going up the sides to form like a crust for a pie. So we're going to press it flat in the center and have it come up the sides like that. And it really helps. Wear gloves and spray them with some cooking spray. Stick that way. Okay. All right. There we go. go. Now we're gonna set her aside and let her cool. And now round 2, second verse, same as the first. So we had 2 tablespoons of butter, 3/4 of a bag of marshmallows, but this time we added our food coloring in right at this point here until we get that nice desired shade of orange that we like. Okay, I think we're good to go here. And gonna add the rest of our cereal and, stir until it's all covered. And you guessed it, we're gonna pour right on top of our quote pie crust. And press down to make our pumpkin filling. Okay, and there we go. Our pumpkin pie is done. So we're just gonna set her aside for a little bit and let her chill. You can pop her in the fridge too, but I wanna wait because next we are going to slice her up, but she still needs some whipped cream, right? So let's let her chill a little bit. She's all chilled there, and then I went and sliced her up. Oh yes! Gosh, it looks like a pumpkin pie. All right, and now for our whipped cream. I just have a pastry bag here filled with just some white buttercream, and we're just gonna do little dollops as if it were whipped cream. There we go. Oh, this looks so cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is pop her into the fridge for about 10-15 minutes until she hardens up, okay? But, this is a standalone thing just by itself right now. Like, you could just set this right on the table like this with a little pie server, for a little treat before, maybe after dinner, especially if you have more than one dessert. Definitely put this out too, But we are going to transform this into our table setting. Table settings. Oh yeah. So now that we chilled our pie in the fridge, it's very easy to go back through and just cut where we cut before, and literally they'll just lift out like that, like a slice of pie. And we definitely want them chilled because we're going to be putting them in bags like this. And I use these large bags here, enough to fit like a banana nut loaf in. Or what we're going to do is put them in the bottom there so it sits flat, and then we're going to very carefully, because we're going to try not to get that frosting on the side of the bag there. We're going to gather it together just gently like that, and then we're going to tie a twist tie around it temporarily. And now we can carefully unroll the top. I rolled it down to hold it open, and then cut it off at the top here. A table setting needs to have our guest's name, right? So we have some leaves here. Of course, me and my leaves. And here's mine. Here, I'll show you. Here you go. And all I did was I took a fall leaf, and I went and used a gold paint pen on the outside there, just gave it a little bit of accents there. And then I took a black Sharpie and just wrote the names on there. And then I tied some jute right onto the stem here, and I tied it real tight so that it'll stay. And then I just sprayed it with some acrylic spray to make it nice and permanent there. Heck, you could go as far as you could even put Thanksgiving 2024 on the back of it, little memento to keep. I'm big for keeping little things like this. I have tons of little mementos like this. Okay, and then we can take off that twist tie. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. And there it is. Our name, our table settings with people's name on it. Here's Steve's. There's mine. I have about 6 more to make here, but that's what I did with our Rice Krispie Treat pumpkin pie. So there you have it, a Rice Krispie Treat pumpkin pie and table settings. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Time for some green bean casserole, y'all. Perogi green bean casserole, that is. And it all starts with the star of the show. One package of your favorite brand of potato and cheddar pierogies. All right, I guess the real star of the show is the green beans. And we have 1 pound of frozen cut green beans. Y'all, oh my gosh. Talk about a rage. I have a giant rage over these green beans. Just what. Okay, we'll talk later. And then we have 1 can of condensed cream of mushroom soup, 1/2 cup of whole milk, and that is 3/4 of a cup of kosher salt, 1.5 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. And okay, what a lot of people say is the actual star of the show, those yummy fried onions. Oh, and check this out. Oh yeah, so we are using homemade fried onions for this recipe. Oh yeah, and it's super easy to make too. There's no reason to buy these crispy onions and use them when you can make them at home, right? And here's how you do it. So, Steve is really, really into dehydrating, and he's the one that made these, and he wanted to share how he did it. Just so you can do this right at home. So he just grabbed some onions, the smaller the better, and peeled them, and then sliced them real thin. And then you place those into your dehydrator, if you have one, around 135 degrees, and let them go for about, anywhere from 12 to 24 hours until they're super, super crisp. And if you don't have a dehydrator, you can also make them right in your oven. Same time, same temperature. Just make sure you check them around the 12-hour mark just in case, depending if your oven, sometimes it can be a little hotter than 135, and give them a little stir every once in a while if you do it in the oven, okay? But yeah, don't go with these. Use the homemade instead. Pretty cool, huh? Oh man, these are absolutely delicious for real. Okay, moving right along. The first thing we did was we blanched our green beans in a pot of salted boiling water, just to blanch them like literally about 2 minutes. And now we're gonna take them off the heat, and we're gonna plunge them into an ice bath or run cold water over them so we can stop that cooking process. So now in a large bowl, we're going to add our cheese. And we're actually going to reserve just a little, like maybe a sprinkle's worth there. I think that's good. That'll be good. We're going to put this on the top later, okay? And then we're going to add our cream of mushroom soup, our milk, our salt, our green beans. And then we're going to add about 1/2 cup of those fried onions. Oh, yes. Okay, there we go. And then using a spatula, we are just going to mix that all up until it's nice and combined. Ooh, okay, that's good. Okay, nice. Okay, so now we are going to pour that into favorite baking dish. Oh yes, and we either greased it or sprayed it with some non-stick cooking spray. Make sure you get all that yummy goodness in there, y'all. And then it's time to bake. Oh yes, so we're gonna bake this until it's nice and bubbly, and that'll be 25 to 30 minutes at 350 degrees, okay? And about 10 minutes or so before our casserole comes out of the oven, we're going to prepare our pierogies according to the package directions, but they're all fairly the same. Usually, you put them in a pot of salted boiling water just for about 3 to 5 minutes. All right, well, let's check our casserole. All righty. So we're nice and bubbly here. We're doing good here, okay? So now what we're going to do is top our casserole with the rest of those fried onions. Oh, yeah. And then we're going to top that with our pierogies. And then a sprinkle of our remaining cheese right on top. Oh, okay, so now she goes back into the oven for another 10 minutes until our pierogis are nice and golden. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, very nice. See, can you see it? Oh yes. Okay. Very nice. Oh, yes, it smells good. It does. Alright, so before we serve this, of course, you're going to want to let this cool down for a good 10 minutes or so, okay? Alright. Ooh, I can't wait to drill. I just can't wait. I just can't wait. You know I always say that. Alright, I'm not going to ramble on at all this time. There you have it. Our cheddar and potato pierogi green bean casserole. Oh, I dropped my fork. Oh. Well, how about that green bean casserole, y'all? I had some in the kitchen. It's delicious. It's really good. And what a nice, like, twist on the traditional green bean casserole. I mean, green bean casserole is great on its own. It is. I mean, and the holidays wouldn't be the same without it, right? But the addition of the pierogies on there and some extra cheese, wow, does it really elevate this dish. So I hope you give it a shot there, okay? How about our pumpkin pie and our table setting there? I think these are adorable. I think these are going to be nice for people to take home, after Thanksgiving dinner. I think so. Anyway, later on in the week, tomorrow, keep an eye out for a short from us. Yes, another Thanksgiving menu short. We're going to be making a pumpkin smoothie. Oh, it's so good. Oh, yes. And then we'll be back in the middle of the week, Steve and I both, for an appetizer that is really good too and cute. And then I'll be back with you either Friday or Saturday. The dessert. Oh, you know it's going to be good. It's going to be epic. Oh, yes. All right. Well, gosh, I don't know. I'm pooped. How about you? Thank you so much for spending your time with me this evening. It really, really means a lot to me. It does. Definitely hit that subscribe button, okay, and the notification bell so you know when we have a new video coming out. And check us out over on social media. Facebook, Instagram, X. We're on all of them, And all of our contact information is right down below. Our email address, our post office box. If you have any questions on any of the recipes or anything we did today, shoot me an email, okay, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Thank you again, everybody. Oh, it was great. This was a really fun evening for me, and I hope it was for you too, okay? All right, you have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next time. Ciao, everybody.